Welcome to Wednesday night here on In Focus, Newzroom Afrika, channel 405. I am Thabo Mdridge, just after 8, coming live out of that briefing taking place in Cape Town. That's where the spokesperson of Hamas based in Iran, Khaled al-Kaddomi, was giving an address. This on the last day of the truce between Israel and the group, which could be extended, and they're outlining some of the things that they are calling for. We'll get back to that in some of our leading stories tonight, and our reporter there is on the ground capturing that for us. But back to what we have for you tonight. Some reaction to the mining disaster that took place in Rustenburg. We'll speak to the Portfolio Committee on Mineral Resources on that tonight. The audit outcomes of provincial and national departments as well as SOEs also coming into sharp focus. We'll get a governance expert to help us with that. But let's begin here now. EFF members in Limpopo have marched to Hoërskool Ben Vorster in Tzaneen. It comes after a pupil at the school called a social media personality, the K word, during a live social media broadcast. EFF Limpopo elections convener Godrich Gardee joins us now for more on that. Gardee, good to have you, and thank you very much for your time. It's an incident, as I'm saying, would have happened on a social media platform, not at the school itself. Understand politically what you would want to do as the EFF, but as a legal person yourself, what would be the legal rationale for engaging the school on a matter that would have happened on social media?
Thank you very much. Good evening, Thabo, and to our viewers. The first thing that we may comment on is to extend our condolences to the people of Palestine and in Gaza in particular for the racism that they are going through from the apartheid state of Israel. We are here today talking to you because of racism, and racism is apartheid and apartheid is racism. So the people of Gaza and Palestine are victims of racism. As to whether it happened in the school or outside the school is neither here nor there. All what we know is that the children of the whites in South Africa are being taught by their parents to hate Africans and to call them the K word. And that is what we are actually protesting against.
Yeah. And the engagement with the school management, what was it meant to achieve as some immediate action or decisive action that you would want the school to take?
Register our concern that the school is not an ordinary school, but it is a school that harbors racism and teaches racism to its white children, and they should look at that and desist from that. And we have registered that with the school governing board of the school and the leadership of the school, Mr. Vorster. And coincidentally, it's also a Ben Vorster school.
So what did the management then say about this incident?
Well, they have issued a statement wherein they apologize for the conduct of one of their children, and they distance themselves from it, and they're committed to speak to the parents and to the other children in the school to desist from future similar conduct.
Yeah. And taking maybe a more broader view, not a narrow view just at this particular pupil, even though, of course, it's about this grade 9 learner. It's a young person, as you put it in your statement, a young person who would be considered born free or a born free generation. Does this, in a sense, mean that we have, I suppose, attached this concept of born free to young people who might not necessarily aspire or subscribe to the idea of born free?
There is no freedom in South Africa. It's a myth to call people born after 1994 as born free and born 2000 to be born free. We are not free in South Africa particularly. We are not free from racism. We are not free from economic discrimination. We are not free from political oppression. We are still economically oppressed in South Africa. And the bottom line of the anchor of this oppression is nothing but it's racism. It's racism in the economic management of the country. It's racism in the political management of the country. It's just racism everywhere. You go to the banks, it is racism. You go to companies, it's racism. Workers are being dismissed every day on the basis of racism. Workers are not promoted in the big companies because they are owned by whites. The economy is in the hands of the whites. And as long as we do not have a decisive government that can act against the racists who are captains of industries, we will see this kind of conduct continuing for the longest time in South Africa. And the best thing is our people in May 2024, they've got an opportunity to vote out the perpetrators and the protectors of racism, which is the governing party, both in the Western Cape and in the Republic, the ANC and the DA respectively.
So what are the options as far as relevant law enforcement authorities? It's a minor that we are talking about. I think he's 16 years old, judging by the grade that he is in, hardly at the age where I suppose could be considered an adult.
Well, the police must do their work. We've opened a criminal case. We will be getting the case number tomorrow through an SMS. Through our leader, who actually deposed to the A1 statement at the SAPS police station, and we'll proceed from there. And further than that, we'll take the matter to the Human Rights Commission to further investigate how the child came to know a K-word at that early age, and hold the parents and the family liable for the conduct of their child. And the criminal process will be ongoing, and in terms of our constitution and the statutes of South Africa, you are not deemed a child at the age of 16. You can be held liable for your conduct, and that young man will definitely be held liable criminal for his conduct.
Is this the wish of the content creator as well? So Nabile D, are you in consultation with him in terms of the actions that you're taking?
We are trying to establish contact with him. We have not been able to get hold of him, but it's not a crime against Sonwabile. It's a crime against the nation. It's a crime against the state. The conduct of the young man, the child, is a crime against the state. It doesn't need Mr. Sonwabile to go and open a case. It needs any other person, a concerned citizen of the country, to approach the relevant law enforcement agencies to register a complaint. And the complaint must be investigated and fully seen to the end of it. And that is what is going to happen with or without Mr. Sonwabile, who was directly insulted by the young man. But we take it to have been an insult to the whole African nation, in South Africa in particular.
EFF Limpopo Elections Convener Godrich Gardee, appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming on this evening.